A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, December 16. Two of the country's first responders are teaming up their operations. The Barbados Fire Service and the Emergency Ambulance Service will soon come together. Word of this today from Home Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams, who says they will be housed at the new Barbados Fire Service complex at Pine Road, St. Michael.
It is anticipated that this will provide a framework for a closer collaboration and working relationship between the Emergency Ambulance Service and the Barbados Fire Service. It therefore makes strategic sense to have these two entities housed together and working together. Such an arrangement will benefit both the personnel of the service and the public of Barbados, as it provides the opportunity for a greater range of training, the acquisition of skills, much shorter response times for medical and trauma calls, and routine joint responses to assist the public of Barbados. It will also allow for the sharing of resources such as a central dispatch center, maintenance and workshop facilities, and living quarters. These provisions can only translate into better and more efficient services to the public and less cost to the taxpayers of Barbados.
Minister Abrams made the disclosure as he addressed the closing ceremony for the Barbados Fire Academy Auxiliary Fire Officers Recruit Course number 39 at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology. He commended the 16 fire recruits who successfully completed the Emergency Medical Technician program as part of their training. He served notice that it will not be business as usual for the fire service, saying it can no longer only focus on preventing and extinguishing fires.
We are talking about a modern fire service. We are talking about an evolving fire service. We are talking about a fire service where you're not just trained as fire officers, you're trained as EMTs, you're trained as thinkers. I want you to be trained also in conflict resolution, Chief Fire Officer. That is something else you need to put in there. Start to think of all of the situations that these young people will encounter, and let us put the training in there for them. As you said, it doesn't have to be hands-on training. We now have the capacity to do virtual training. We now have the capacity where those who are interested can sign on and log in and get the training online.
COVID-19 cases in Barbados are now just over 300 as 4 visitors tested positive for the viral illness on Monday. They include 2 women ages 42 and 37 who arrived on American Airlines on December 10 and 11. The other cases are a 53-year-old man who came in on Virgin Atlantic on December 12 and a 31-year-old man who arrived on British Airways on December 13. All of the visitors were asymptomatic and tested positive on their second test. Theirs were among the 864 tests conducted by the Best of Santos Public Health Laboratory. The new cases bring the number of persons in isolation to 20. No one was released today. Barbados has recorded 301 cases to date, 156 females and 145 males. A total of 274 people have recovered from the viral illness. The Public Health Lab has completed 56,097 tests. The Salvation Army today made Christmas holidays a lot brighter for thousands of Barbadians. Today, the charitable organization distributed 30,000 food hampers from its Reed Street location. Sherma Evelyn, the Army's Divisional Business Manager, praised Corporate Barbados for its contributions and its volunteers for raising funds.
This year, we were able to do this by the generous help of various corporate donations. And we want to say a special thank you to Scotiabank, CIBC, First Caribbean, CIBC, Jordan Supermarket, Linus Seahill, and there are many others who have given generously. Some companies have also not having Christmas parties, have decided that they're going to give to the Salvation Army towards their hamper program and feeding the less fortunate. It has been a tremendous response from Corporate Barbados, and we want to say thank you. But we also want to say thank you to the bell ringers, the persons out there with the red kettle, who has been able to raise so far $139,000 through that effort. And we want to say thank you, Barbados, for all you have done to make this possible for the less fortunate in our community.
A call for the incoming United States government to reopen dialogue with Venezuela to help the Spanish-speaking Caribbean country move ahead with its development is coming from David Denny, the General Secretary for the Caribbean Movement for Peace and Integration, who served as an international observer for the Venezuelan National Assembly election held on December 6. During a brief media conference today at the Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Denny said after seeing firsthand the conduct of the poll, which she described as fair and transparent, U.S. President-elect Joe Biden should be more than willing to have serious talks with the new assembly governing Venezuela.
The Black Lives Matter movement openly indicated to us that in the future they will be meeting with the President of the United States of America team, and that they have had a series of meetings before the election and that they expect to have after the election. And the Black Lives Matter movement position is that this new administration should develop dialogue with the governments of Cuba and Venezuela, and that they should remove the political and economic embargoes against Cuba and Venezuela. So for us, we are looking forward for that kind of movement, but as I have mentioned in the past, I would not ask people to celebrate as yet, because it was the United States of America president, who was a Democrat, who first signed the executive order against Venezuela. And this is a historical thing, and therefore we have to wait and see.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, Guyana's President Irfan Ali tells the country's police officers his government will soon boost their pay and benefits, but he makes it clear they must step up their performance. We get more in this report from Newsroom Guyana.
President Irfan Ali on Wednesday told commanding officers within the Guyana Police Force that he is committed to supporting the embodiment of professionalism throughout the law enforcement body. The president was at the time attending the annual Police Commissioners' breakfast at the Officers' Mess in Evelary, Georgetown. The head of state said he had heard the request for improvements in the benefits that police ranks receive, and while he will ensure it manifests, the force must take steps to ensure that their performance match their requests for higher salaries.
But similarly, we expect to see marked improvement in performance. Examining where we are, a lot of professionals, as president, you know, you're never short of advice. A lot of professionals believe that we should go on a case outcome basis for incentives in the police force, similar to a production incentive in other industries. I don't believe this to be the only way forward, because we must never give the impression that our only driving force to resolve a case is incentives and reward. That can never be it. It is our oath and commitment to office. It is our love for country and people.
The president used the opportunity to assure police ranks that their welfare and that of their family will be seriously addressed by the government.
On the international scene, several European countries on Wednesday imposed tighter coronavirus restrictions ahead of Christmas.
Fresh COVID restrictions across Europe have many crying bah humbug. Here in France, the government is recommending holiday gatherings be limited to just 6 people. And while shops are open, an 8 p.m. curfew is in effect, and officials are urging people to take precautions.
Si vous le pouvez, d'ailleurs c'est ce qui se pratique dans certains pays étrangers, dans beaucoup, auto-confinez-vous 8 jours avant Noël. À chaque fois que cela est possible, surtout si on doit recevoir à Noël des personnes vulnérables, si vous pouvez ne pas amener vos enfants à l'école jeudi et vendredi, c'est la période de 8 jours, vous le faites.
Steps meant to avoid at all costs yet another new wave in January. In Germany, anxious shoppers were rushing to the stores to buy any last-minute presents before the new national lockdown goes into effect on Wednesday.
Ja, es ist sehr stressig, weil ich weiß, morgen ich kann nicht mehr hier kommen, deswegen ich muss alles schnell machen. Ja.
The Czech Republic, too, is battling a rising tide of new infections. Restaurants, hotels, and fitness centers, which had just reopened 2 weeks ago, will shut again on Friday, and an 11 p.m. curfew will be put in place. In Italy, the government has banned attendance for midnight mass on Christmas Eve. Travel between regions for the holiday period starting on December 20th will only be allowed for emergencies, while Belgium is enforcing the strictest measures yet. Just one guest per household for Christmas. 2 guests are allowed for someone who lives alone.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.